Hello, it's Rebecca here and welcome to today's video. So for today I'm doing a speed painting of my Inktober's day 1 through day 3, and I will do the other ones later on. I'm not committing myself to doing all 31 days, but I want to do as many as possible, so I will have the ones that I do complete here on YouTube. So for the first day I am drawing this frog, and the rules that I made for myself with this Inktober are that I would use a toned paper, so this is the gray paper by Strathmore. I will be using Micron pens or any kind of fine liner, and then I'd be using a white jelly roll pen, and I wanted to have those as my mediums so I wouldn't have to decide what kind of mediums I'd be using throughout the month. And then I also wanted to do animals, so I would use the prompts that the founder of Inktober, Jake Parker, put forward. So like for today's, number 1 was poisonous, so I did a poison dart frog. But I wanted to do animals as well, so it kind of was two separate things I needed to fulfill. So yeah, for this one I'm doing a poison dart frog for the prompt poisonous, and it was a pretty simple, straightforward one. I didn't really know what I was doing in terms of style, just kind of playing around, and by the end of this video, day 3, I found out the style that I wanted to do for this Inktober. But here I am adding some darker lines now, some darker leaves in the background, more to cover up mistakes than anything else. I wasn't planning on doing it, but I had tried something, it didn't work, so to cover it up I did these dark leaves in the back. And then I'm going ahead and adding the spots on the little frog. What I struggled with most, and you'll see it especially in day 2, is the scratchy lines that I would get with microns. I'm, not used to that, and I don't usually use ink in my day-to-day practice and artwork, so I wasn't really sure how to get the more realistic results that I was going for. And I don't think I achieved that in day 1 or day 2, but in day 3 and then going forwards, I think I did. So today is October 8th, so I am, after this video, I'm going to go work on today's Inktober, and I think I finally got the style that I'm looking for. But there's day 1, and I am happy with it, but it wasn't quite what I was going for. And that's the wonderful thing about Inktober, is it forces you to do something every day, and you kind of figure out what you like and what you dislike about the medium. So here in day 2 is a perfect example of me figuring out what I disliked about using pens. So I wanted to get the texture of the fur, and I wanted to show where there were shadows, so I would do more fur marks where there were shadows. Makes sense, right? But I ended up with this very scratchy look, and I was very unhappy with that look. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it just wasn't the style that I was looking for. I wanted a more realistic style. So real quick before I get ahead of myself, day 2, the prompt was tranquil. And I was like, oh, I think of like a little kitten sleeping, so maybe like an animal sleeping. So that's where I did this. I found this picture of a cat on Pixabay doing a yawn. So I thought, oh, that's a very tranquil image, so I decided to paint that. I don't know if it comes across as the cat is yawning or like meowing, or I don't know. I don't think I captured this one very well. So we'll just go ahead and speed through this one. But I did learn a lot about what I disliked, and that's just as important. So here is day 3, and I think this is where I really figured out the style that I wanted and that I'm going to continue with for the rest of the month. And at first I was really tempted to act like I didn't do the first 2 days, just to start here, be like, oh yeah, I'm starting here, no one has to see the mistakes. But then I realized, that's important too, for people to realize that, you don't always know exactly where you're going, and even though those first 2 days won't fit the same style, they're a learning process, and it's part of the journey of being an artist and figuring out what you want to do. So for this one I did this bee, and the prompt for today was roasted, and I did the bee because I had read this article recently about a bee that lived near volcanoes that had recently erupted. And so I thought, roasted, okay, what am I doing? And then I thought of that, and I was like, okay, that's somewhat close. So that's how that one got there. I don't know if it fits perfectly, but I like how it turned out, and it really helped me figure out the style I want for the rest of the Inktober drawings. What I also really like about what I did for this one here is I would add the white not at the end, but in the process of the drawing, and that helped me map out where the light areas were ahead of time, and I think that helped my brain kind of figure out where I was going with the drawing, and it just seemed to click for me better, and that's really great when you kind of find your process and what works for you. So here I am, go ahead and finishing up this bee for day 3, and thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, be awesome, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!